Okay, guys, today we will be tackling question number 7 from the CSS past paper Accountancy and Auditing for the 2021 attempt. This question is a part of the paper 2, section 3, focusing on business study and finance. Okay, let me show you here. Okay, here, if you see, this question is from paper 2, you see, and this is the section 3, business study and finance, and this question is question number 7 as for the CSS attempt question paper. Give a hypothetical journal transaction that will have the following types of effects on the element of the balance sheet equation. This is the balance sheet equation. Asset is equal to liabilities plus owner equity. So we will have to create a hypothetical journal transaction that will have the effects which will be this one, this one, this one, and this one. 5. So we'll create 5 hypothetical scenario, and that each scenario will have effect which is mentioned here. Now the first one is increase in asset and increase in liability. So we have to create a transaction which have both effect. The asset will also increase and the liability will also increase. Fine. So let's start from the first one, that how the asset and the liability both increase. Let's say, I will just write here, let's say you have purchased equipment worth 10,000, purchase equipment worth 10,000. Okay, and this purchase is based on credit term. Okay, so this will increasing both your asset, which is in the form of equipment, and it will also increase your liability because this is a credit term, so your liability will also be increased. So that will be your account payable. So what will be the general entry? The debit will be your equipment, and that equipment is your asset, and that will be $100. And as for the Pakistan, so we'll use RS. The credit will be the account payable, which is liability with the same amount, $10,000 or rupees. Okay, so the first scenario, we done with the first one, the increase in asset, that one, and increase with the liability. Now the second scenario is the effect we need is the decrease in the asset and also decrease in liability. We need a scenario where you have both effect, decreasing effect. Okay, this one, decrease in asset, the effect we need is decrease in an asset and decrease in a liability. Okay, So let's say you have just paid off uh, 5,000 rupees. You here use the currency rupees because it's best in we are doing the Pakistani paper, so we'll use the currency RS of account payable, okay, using cash. So when you are using cash while paying the liability, paying the payables, then this will decrease both the liability and your asset. That is the asset, that is your cash. So the double entry will be like debit will be account payable because decrease and liability mean the debit will be the account payable. So this is the liability with the amount of Rs 5,000, and the credit will be definitely your cash, which as your asset with Rs 5,000. So we done with the second scenario, the second effect, that is the decreasing effect. Okay, let me show you another watch. Increase in one asset and decrease in another asset. So increase in one asset, decrease in another asset. We need a scenario which gives the effect increase in one asset and decrease in another asset. Okay, here this is the part 3 of the question, and this question we will show the effect that will increase one asset and decrease another asset. Okay, let's say you have purchased inventory, worth Rs let's say 5,000. Okay, so this will decreasing cash, which is your asset, and increasing inventory, which is again your asset. So the effect is increase in one asset, decrease in another asset. So the journal entry will be debit your inventory, because you're purchasing inventory, that will be asset with Rs 5,000, and the credit will be your cash, that is also asset with Rs 5,000. Clear? Now let's move on to the part 4. Yeah, increase in asset and increase in owner equity. This is the effect number 4, increase in asset and also increase in owner equity. Okay, here increase in an asset and increase and owner equity. Okay, so we need a scenario which will increase both asset and owner equity. So let's say owner invested 20,000. Owner invested, let's say Rs 20,000 cash and to the business. Okay, so this will increase the both the asset, which is the cash, and the owner equity. We know that is the capital amount. Okay, so the debit will be your cash, mean asset, with 20,000, and credit will be the owner equity, that is your capital, and that is also Rs 20,000. Okay, let's move on to the last part. Show me that. Okay, here the last one is increase in one asset, decrease in another asset, and increase in liability. Mean increase one asset, decrease another asset, increase liability. Okay, so let's do this part. Okay, let me write here the 5. The effect should be increase in one asset, decrease in another asset, and increase in a liability. This is the effect which we need. We're using a hypothetical scenario, and from that we will draw the effect. Let's say you have purchased equipment worth Rs 10,000. So this will increase your asset. Clear? Then you paid 8,000 Rs 8,000 in cash for the equipment. Okay, so this will decrease your asset, which is your cash. Fine. The remaining Rs 2,000 of the equipment purchase, which was made on credit, that will increase your account payable, mean liability account. Clear? So the double entry will be, okay, wait. The double entry will be debit equipment, mean your assets, with RS 10,000, and then the credit will be the cash, mean your asset, with RS at 1,000 that we have paid, and then again credit will be your account payable, which is your liability, with 2,000 RS 2,000. So this is the end of this question. We have done all the parts with using a hypothetical scenario as directed by the question, requirement, and this is a very simple question which we have just did it. Thank you for watching.